Lee, Master Smuggler on Wonderhome. I was going to ask you a question about the smuggler revamp and all that, but we've been promised those, and it's about match 3, so. My question is.
Bear with me.
Yes. But my question is, why did the CU even happen? Y'all had to have implemented the NGE for a long time before it came out. And why did it just suddenly, change the game twice in 6 months? Because there's no way you develop the NGE in 6 months.
Well, the real answer to that is, we want to come up with...
One way. Another thing, do not use the term iconic or Star Wars.
The real answer to that is, as Grant said, this is an evolving game, and we want to get it right. We want to make an incredible online Star Wars experience. And we really believe that the system that was in there, the combat system that was playing out, was more like, when I was playing it, I actually felt like I was watching 2 characters play, or 3 or 4, whichever. I never felt like I was in there. I never felt like I was really part of the deal. Now, you are part of what's going on, and what you do really matters in combat, especially after differentiation. So that is much more of a game mechanic that I think is not only Star Wars, but fun. I think we used to call this combat sandwich combat, where basically you press the button and you eat a sandwich. That is not the kind of game that represents the goal that we have. So I understand that change is hard, and change is very hard for people to get used to a certain way. But the reality is that this particular system represents much more what somebody can actually immerse themselves in.
We understand that you did the NGE. The question is, why did the CU even come out? Why the NGE had to be in development?
Combat upgrades did not go over well. It was actually...
I'm saying the NGE had to take longer than 6 months to develop, because the CU came out 6 months later with the NGE. Why did the CU even come out if you were already planning on releasing the NGE?
We weren't.
So you're telling me you developed the NGE in 6 months time?
Yes.
What explains the bug?
So we need to point out a couple of things, I think, from the marketing and from the development side as well. So I'll speak up because there are a lot of people in this room that play MMOs seriously. And there are other people that love Star Wars that want to be involved in an online Star Wars game with their friends. And pre-CU, there were a lot of complaints about combat. There were complaints about armor and what you could wear and equipment and all of the stats that had to be accommodated in the course of that process before you could even get into combat. I didn't call it sandwich combat, I call it PhD combat, because I couldn't figure it out. And I'm just saying, I'm going to get to that. So part of the CU was saying combat is supposed to be what Star Wars is about. What does every movie start with? Combat. That is what is happening in this world. Rebels versus Imperials, right? So we wanted to make things that everybody or more people could be involved in the combat and having fun, and we were listening to players who said, combat's not fun to me because everybody has to wear the same armor and everybody basically looks the same. And it's not as fun as it could really be to be part of it. So there was a lot of dissatisfaction. That's what brought on the CU. The CU was the first step in saying, hey, how do we get the experience of combat to be about fun gameplay and not about mechanics and user interface and games? How do we let people get caught up in the moment and feel like they're in an online Star Wars experience? CU was the first step. After CU, we did a lot of research, a lot of focus groups, and a lot of listening. And people said, hey, I see where you were going with this, but for a lot of people who are still beginning...
For anybody. Raise your hand if you were in a focus group or ever asked anything about Star Wars during that time.
Raise your hand if you've ever posted on our board. How many people in this room?
Everybody.